Hi everyone, it's very nice to meet you again, and I'm Vera, and today we are going to talk about two similar words, and one is 好看 and the other is 漂亮. So if you learn these two words in the app, you will know that they both means pretty or good looking. So what's the difference between these two? Okay, so the first of all, they are all adjectives and they both means pretty or good looking. So which means if you use one of them to describe a girl, like the girl is pretty, or describe something is good looking, like the dress is pretty or pretty dress, they will be the same. For example, 她很好看。她很漂亮。These two both mean she is pretty. Okay, one more example. 漂亮的裙子，好看的裙子。So both of them mean pretty dress. So use either one when you want to say something or someone is pretty or good looking. Okay, now the difference. Besides pretty or good looking, 好看 has another meaning. You may have already learned the sentence 电影很好看. In the app, obviously, it doesn't mean the movie is beautiful or the movie is pretty. It doesn't make any sense. So, 好看 also means good to look, good to watch, or good to read. So for this meaning, usually it is used for those like books, movies, dramas, or something you can watch or you can read. So if they are good, you can say 好看. Like 电影很好看 means the movie is good. Or 书很好看. The book is good. So in this case, since it is not used to describe like beautiful, pretty for the appearance, so we should not use 漂亮. If you say 电影很漂亮, it doesn't make any sense. You can only say 电影很好看. Does that make sense? And for the last, we will add a bonus one, which is 美丽. 美丽 is not in the app, but it is mentioned by some learners in the emails. 美丽 is another word in Chinese which means beautiful. So compared to 好看 or 漂亮, 美丽 is more advanced and more formal. So we don't use it very often in the spoken language, but in the written form. So if you read or if you like watch news, you will probably see this word 美丽. For example, 故宫很美丽. The Forbidden City is beautiful. Since Forbidden City is a huge, a big palace, and we don't use those 好看 or 漂亮 for the Forbidden City because it sounds more colloquial. But for this, like magnificent palace, we prefer to use the word 美丽. Another difference is 美丽 could be used for those abstract things. For example, her soul is beautiful. 她的心灵很美丽. So you couldn't use 漂亮 or 好看 for soul. Okay, so that's the difference among 漂亮, 好看, and 美丽. So if you have more questions, please feel free to send us an email to support@hellochinese.cc or just through the app to send us a message. You ask, we answer. See you next time.